I'm in Rome these days. What do you do in Rome? You visit churches. The other day I visited SANTO STEfANO ROTONDO. It's a round church dedicated to St. Stephen, the first Christian martyr. It's just a short walk from where I'm staying on the Caelian Hill. Now, why did they build this church anyway? Well, in spite of the grim pictures of martyrs you see all around this church, it's a message of hope. It was built after barbarian armies swept through Rome at the beginning of the 5th century. The people living in this area of Rome, they're well-to-do Christians for the most part, they were shocked by this invasion. They were convinced that their city was impregnable, and now invaders were breaking down its walls. They thought the world was coming to an end. Some Romans blamed the Christians for the bad times. The Roman gods were angry, they said. So St. Augustine wrote the City of God to answer their charges. And then something else happened at the time that many ordinary Christians saw as a sign from God. Near Jerusalem, in the year 415, some Christians claimed to discover the grave of Stephen, the deacon who was martyred in Jerusalem just after the time of Jesus. His death, you remember, caused a persecution that made Christians go out to other parts of the world. So his death brought new life, a new development to the church, as the death of Jesus did. St. Luke says that very clearly in the Acts of the Apostles. So the relics of Stephen were brought to all the parts of the Christian world, especially where there was danger, because they signified that death brought new life. The barbarians were coming. Rome was in danger. But it wasn't going to be the end. Something new was going to happen. Christians believed that death was a beginning, not an end. Stephen's story is told repeatedly in this church, especially around the main altar where his relics must have been placed. And then stories of other martyrs, beginning with Jesus, Peter and Paul, John the Apostle, Ignatius of Antioch, on and on. They're pictured around this church. They're renovating this church now, bringing those pictures to life again. It's a good time to do it, to remind us that Jesus brought life out of death. I like the way the crucifixion of Jesus is portrayed here. It's not just Mary and John at the foot of the cross, it's the whole church beneath the cross. We all share in this mystery, and our world does too. It's a mystery to turn to today. It's a mystery we find in every Eucharist we celebrate.